Have you watched the new Britney Spears documentary yet? It's a little bit hard to find in Canada right now, but that's all going to change on Friday when it starts streaming on Crave. And I have so many questions about Framing Britney Spears, but luckily, I know a guy. I know someone who knows everything about Britney Spears, and I'm talking about Jesse Reynolds. He's a Canadian actor, stand-up comedian, and a podcast host. You can hear him weekly on Jesse and Jenna's Messy podcast. Jesse, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Johnny, thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, no problem. So what is this Framing Britney Spears documentary all about?
All I know, Johnny, is if the plot of Legally Blonde 3 is not Elle Woods going to break Britney out of this conservatorship, I'm going to throw a fit.
So what is the conservatorship? I know like her father controls her or something like that.
So this conservatorship started in 2007. We're not going to go back that far, but at the time it was after the head shaving incident. She was having a lot of financial, legal problems, partying too much with Paris Hilton. And, you know, this is something that sometimes happens to people with a lot of money that can't handle their own thing. But nobody expected that this was going to last for 14 years. Okay, this is unheard of a conservatorship. And the reason that the fans sort of started questioning this was last January. So we have to go back to January 2020. Now, if you remember, Britney had just wrapped up a 5-year Las Vegas residency. It was successful. It was off the charts. No, I didn't get to see it. Very upset about it. But she was talking about being, you know, she was looking forward to taking time off, to being a mom and like traveling, doing what she wanted. She just spent 5 years in Vegas.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, okay, we're not going to hear from Britney for a while. Literally a week later, her team announced a new residency. It was going to be called Domination. They had, you know, billboards done up, everything. So everybody's like, what? Britney was just talking about wanting to take time off. What's going on here? Cut to the announcement of this new residency. Now, you can Google the video of this, but it was a huge event. There was fanfare, paparazzi, press, and they said, and here's Britney Spears. And she comes out, and she doesn't even have a microphone. She doesn't say one word. She waves and walks off stage. So that was a moment where all the fans were like, right? Something is wrong here.
Yeah, that sounds so dehumanizing. That sounds like something you would do at a circus with a lion in like the 1800s or something like that.
Exactly. So come to find out, and the documentary does a great job of explaining what happened that day. But basically, Britney didn't want to do this new residency, and she said, I'm not doing it. I'm not participating. And if you put me out there to announce it, I'm going to sabotage the whole thing. And that's why they didn't give her a microphone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Crazy.
What is the deal with Justin Timberlake? Why did Justin Timberlake apologize? And will our opinion of JT change after watching this documentary?
Maybe. But, you know, JT was also a product of the early 2000s. It was a different world. The celebrity culture was different. So I don't necessarily hold anything against JT the way some people are. But what I will say is the documentary does a great job of exposing how terribly we treated female celebrities in the early 2000s. When you think back to the Janet Jackson incident with Britney, you know, remember some of the questions she would get asked as a teenage girl? Are your boobs real?
Yeah.
Have you had sex yet?
It's inappropriate questions, yeah.
Totally inappropriate questions to be asking a teenage girl. So the documentary shows a lot of that, and it just kind of, you know, in the post-Me Too world we live in now, where everybody, you know, pays attention to their mental health, it's mind-blowing that we treated a young girl this way. So that's the second part of the documentary, where it's sort of like justice for Britney and the way we all treated her. And I say we all as in society, because there was a time where it was cool to not like Britney. Okay? But I always stood by her, Johnny.
I will back that statement up 100%. Ever since I've known you, you've been the hugest Britney Spears fan that I've ever ran into in my life.
Yeah. It's because I do a great job lip syncing her. That's really why.
So I got to ask, in this documentary, what will a casual fan like myself get out of it?
I think that you will get insight into a conservatorship, what that is, and how it's being used wrongly, because it's a great thing if somebody has dementia or, you know, can't handle their affairs, if they've been in a car accident and they're paralyzed. But for a healthy young woman who can go do backflips on stage, and then she can't even make a decision to go pick up a McDonald's burger by herself. Something doesn't add up there, and we have to look at why she's being held in this conservatorship. And that's what's happening now as a result of this. And I just wanted to mention the Free Britney movement was started by two podcasters. I don't know their name, but after that announcement event I was talking about where everybody started scratching their heads, they started a podcast called Free Britney, and looking into everything that was going on and kind of like, this isn't working. And that really snowballed into the hashtag Free Britney movement that we're talking about right now. If you compare, what's happening with Britney to some other celebrities that have been crazy in the past, Michael Jackson, Johnny Depp, Anna Nicole Smith,
Justin
all
Bieber?
of them, Justin Bieber's even a good example. They were never placed in a conservatorship, and they were arguably just as crazy and just as partying just as much. So why Britney? Why was she singled out to be taken control of? So that's the big mystery that we still don't have the answer to.
Wow. Well, Jesse,
It's
thank you
crazy.
so much for joining me.
Thank you, Johnny. I hope that made sense. If anybody wants more info, hit me up on social. I could talk about this for hours. We barely scratched the surface.
You can find him at If You Seek Jesse on pretty much anything. Just look up Jesse Reynolds. You'll find him.
See what I did with that handle? If you seek Jesse, a little play on a Britney song.